Hello, this is Jonathan, and last time I decided that I would continue working on the play state here to try and move forward with the project, and then I realized that I had been pushing states without popping them. That was my bad. I completely misinterpreted the behavior of everything. So yeah, that was good. So this time I'm going to actually try and address those problems. Now that I know what's happening, I can properly handle those cases where, like, onStart calls this, like, creator.create and everything, and I guess I could do that for onResume as well. So, yeah, that would probably fix that issue. And then we're gonna move on to trying to implement the filler in play. So, yeah, that'll be fun. Oops, so let's see onResume. Oh yeah, there's a... Do you hear any, like, humming, or, you know, some kind of droning noise in the background? That's a heater, because it's cold, and I'm not crazy. I like to be warm, I like to be alive, so, yeah. Mostly because, yeah, heating is nice. So, I don't care that it's less than professional. I'm gonna keep the heater going because I like it. So I think this had the exact same signature. I think these all have the same signature. I'm just making things up, but I'm pretty sure that it has the exact same signature. And now, if I want to, I can reload this using this. And obviously we don't want to do that, but for now I think that'll be adequate. And there goes the heater. It's off now anyway, so there we go. So let's give that a shot, see how that looks. Yeah, I'm wondering how I'm going to want to actually handle this. Instead of doing this creation of everything every single time, it would be nice to know, like, if I can store all the entities somewhere temporarily, or like hide them away and then show them again, because I don't want to have to keep doing I don't want to just keep recreating everything every time. I mean, that's never the best option. So I guess thinking about how do most game menus work, I think they do at least kind of recreate everything. I feel like a lot of game menus, when you click on an option, you do notice like pauses between when you click the button and when you actually end up in the new state. At least fairly often that is the case. So maybe recreating everything isn't the worst thing in the world, but there should probably be like some kind of handling for the loading that happens in between. Obviously I could be using the progress things here properly, and that would address that issue, but I'm too lazy to figure that out right now. I will figure it out eventually. I definitely do want to make sure that that gets handled, but for now I'm still not going to bother. So yeah, that seems fine. Let's try to actually get the filler going. So, to use the filler, I think we want to add a new method. I might add a new impl entirely for this. I feel like this makes sense. Yeah, generate locations, I guess, is what I want to call it. We don't need a mutable reference, just need an immutable one, so this should be fine. And I think all I have to do now is just, yeah, create the locations. That should be simple enough with the algorithm that we have. Now, items and everything, those still have to be defined somewhere. I don't really know where I want to do that. So, I guess for now everything can live in here. But definitely in the future, I'm gonna consider moving it to some place a little bit more appropriate. Wherever that may be. So right, the way that this works is you call shuffle world, you get a shuffled result, and you have to pass that shuffled result into fill locations, and then fill locations is then used to, well, fill the location. So yes, we roughly need to do what the test is already doing. I don't have to do much else, really. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think I'll just paste this in here. Feel sad forever because I need to go and import a bunch of stuff. Can I? Come on. Come on now. Come on, let me... Fine, Control F1. Oh. It won't even let me go and pick that up. Okay, fine. I should probably make sure that I'm returning the vector here, because that is our ultimate end goal, right? We're going to return a vector of filled locations, I think. Yeah. Where were we? Play. Yeah, play I'm going to move over here, next to filler. Since those are the two modules that we're currently playing with the most. Filled location. Yeah, where am I going to get that from? Probably... I'm going to have to go up a couple levels, won't I? Super... Now what? Can I not access randomizer from here? Is it not a public... Oh, I can. Yeah, it is. And from here, I need filled location, so I'm probably going to have to go into location? Get the filled location? Oh, there's filled location not in there. Where's filled location? Is it in filler? Oh yeah, it is in filler. Okay. Well, there we go. We just need to get filled location from filler. Well, I'm probably gonna still want location for, well, location. It's probably important. I'm gonna nest these, because I definitely can. Not location. It was... a shuffler. Need to remember that I'm using shuffler. I also want this, too. Wait. Can I not access filled location from here? Is that not public? It is public. What? I can't reach in there? That's weird. I can reach shuffle world. Oh wait, because shuffle world is defined on the module, right? No. Where's Shuffle World? Shuffler. Oh, Shuffler is not the same as Filler, of course. Yeah. Alright, that makes sense. Where was I? Play. Right. Shuffler, I want shuffled. And I want Shuffle World. And from Filler, we want filled location. Is there anything else I want from filler? I probably want fill locations. That's kind of important. Yeah, I'm gonna get fill locations. Alright. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that I have to expose shuffled like this, because Exposing shuffled means that I'm going to have to pass. Well, it means I have access to shuffled, which means that I could theoretically like reach in here and like do stuff, which I don't really like the prospect of, but that's just kind of how it is. What I could do is I could have a helper function that shuffles the world and then passes in the shuffled directly to the filler. That could work, now that I think about it. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm gonna add a new function here. Let's call it shuffle and fill. This one will just take... Wait, it's not going to take a shuffled. It's going to take the original input to shuffled, and it's just going to compose the two functions, I guess, right? Like, that makes sense. Where's shuffle? Oh, it's in shuffle world, right? I say compose, but you know, I get it. It's not pure. I know, I know. Yeah, so this should just give us a vector of filled locations. Then I can just call into this, and I don't have to worry about anything else. Why is this complaining? Oh, hang on. Okay, I need shuffle world. It's fine. Why is this complaining so much? What's wrong with this? Oh, because I forgot the fun again. Wow, I keep forgetting to do that now. I don't know why. Is there a reason why I keep forgetting to do that? I don't know. It's really annoying, though. I wish I would stop. And I think all I need to do is give it locations, prog items, and junk items, right? And the RNG. And as long as I do that, it'll give me a shuffled. Actually, you know what? We can just return what? Fill locations. We'll take just that. Yeah, there we go. Done. That's defined. That's good. That works. Yeah, cool. And this doesn't need to be public anymore as a result, I think. Pretty sure that doesn't need to be public now. And instead of doing all this stuff down here, we can use shuffle and fill, and then we don't have to worry about anything else. Just pass in all this stuff. Shuffle and fill. There we go. Perfect. So now shuffled is unnecessary. And yeah, all we need is this. Pretty happy with that. Let's try running this test again, just to be sure. Ah, there we go. Right, because this is still having issues. Oh, fill locations is private because we want shuffle and fill now. We don't need that anymore. Oh, I do need location ID, don't I? Huh, okay. Yeah, location ID is still one of those things I'm not like super happy about, but it kind of works. At least I have this wrapper for it. Is accessible. Is that also from location? I can't remember where that comes from actually. Truth be told, it's kind of been a while. Where was that? I would have thought I use it here. Oh no, I use it down here. That's right. Is accessible does come from location, and has item does as well, of course. Play, right, yeah. Oh, I need has item as well. Okay. Alright. Anything else? Don't really know. Oh, item. I need item itself. It's a good one to have. Item. Oops. There we go. That fixes most of it now. Now I just fix everything. Let's try running the test again. Mismatch types. Oh, because I didn't return the result, of course. Shuffle and fill. Oh, I didn't get the RNG here? Well, I could, yeah, I can definitely get the RNG and use the seed. That would make sense. Let's do that. I need to use rand, of course. Instead of doing this, I guess just pass in the... Wait, what is the seed? It is, yeah, it's an array of U8. Alright, good. So that's how the seed works. This will just get passed in all the other items, all locations, prog items, and junk items. Alright, that works. And then we return from there. And that's all that this entire function does. Now, obviously there's a bit of logic here that I'm kind of skimming over by basically creating the is accessibles all up front right here. In a way, it doesn't really fix the original problem, the one I had with using the enum, thinking about it, because now they're all in one place still, and they're just crammed in this one vector here. But I know at least now that I have the flexibility to create these objects elsewhere and then pass them into here. Like, I could make each of these locations their own variable and then construct the vector out of those separate variables. If I really wanted to. I don't think I will right now, but yeah, I'm okay with this. This is okay. So yeah, now we do the shuffle and fill, and that will just give us everything we need, won't it? I'm pretty sure it will. And generate locations doesn't need any arguments, as far as I know, because all the arguments, well, everything that could potentially be an argument is already being created right here. Alright, so let's just do a self dot, what is it, shuffle and fill. Actually, no. Generate locations, that's right. Cool, so generate locations is going to give us our vector of filled locations. And now with the filled locations, I'm going to have to use that information to, I guess, build like entities and stuff for the game. So we're probably not going to keep the original vector of data. Like, we have a vector full of locations with, or like, I guess, pairings of items with locations, right? They're filled locations. And that vector probably shouldn't be kept around, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's just a location ID with an actual location right now, which is yeah, that's not really all that important, I guess, to keep as a vector. Essentially, I'm trying to integrate everything into the ECS architecture that Amethyst uses, or framework, if you will. So yeah, this is where we get the RNG from. We just create it on the spawn, then use it. Might not be the best idea to just keep creating RNGs all the time like that, but I am giving the same seed, so I think it's probably okay. And I think it kind of makes sense that we only use the RNG once, and then the next time we use the RNG. Yeah, you know, that does make sense. Anytime you want to make sure that the patterns are exactly the same, you just create a new RNG and give it the original seed, because like if you're in a boss battle and you want to make sure that both players are fighting the same boss fight, you don't want prior actions in the world that may have changed the state of the RNG to affect this boss fight, right? You want the boss fight. The boss fight RNG should be roughly constant. So creating a new RNG with the original seed when the fight starts, to me that makes the most sense. So for doing randomized item drops, though, like, maybe not. That wouldn't work for item drops, because then you just get the same item every time. So yeah, we have to be very careful about where we construct RNGs and when we use them. Anyway, for now we're done with the RNG. Let's try... I haven't really planned this far ahead, I admit. So I don't really know how I'm going to handle this. But what I'm going to have to do is, like, render the whole world. And certain locations on the world map are going to have these items that we generated this big old list for. So I'm trying to think, like, how am I going to represent everything in this entire world? Should an item location be an entity? I think so, right? Because item locations, every item location is going to require like some kind of state tied to it. Like in the ECS framework, you want to make sure that everything, as much as you can make an entity, is actually an entity, right? The idea is to have tons of entities, and they all have their own like components and storages, and hopefully that you can kind of like share components across multiple entities, like velocity or like hit points. So Yeah. I'm currently thinking right now we're gonna have entities for all of the locations, and each of them will have some kind of like flag attached that says whether or not it has been checked, and every location will also, I guess, have to contain an entity. Yeah, it'll need to be able to point to what item is being held within it. That's my very crafty high-level description of what I need to do. So we're gonna have to do the same thing that we did before. We had to get the world and use that to create entities, essentially, instead of doing whatever the heck I was already doing. That reminds me, how do prefabs work? Because now I think this would probably be a good time to start learning how to prefab it up, so to speak. So we're going to look in the Amethyst book. Hopefully it loads in a reasonable amount of time, sometime this century. Also, this new logo is, I don't know, it kind of took me by surprise. In a way, I kind of like the shape of the old logo better, because this is just like, I don't know, like a bunch of rocks or something. But I understand that they want to go for like a more simplistic design, and these days is what all the logos kind of look like. They're just kind of maybe 2 colors at most, and yeah, they all kind of sort of have this look now. So I can understand the need to choose something a little bit more modern, I guess, if you want to call it that. That's how UX is done these days, or design at the very least. Not really sure why that is. I'm sure there's reasons for it. It's because it's simpler when you only have like 1 or 2 colors. Anyway, I was looking for a book, and now I forgot. Where is that book? That is the website. Does the website point me to the book? Read the book. Prefabs. List of future entities where each entry in the list consists of 2 pieces of optional data. A parent index that refers to a different entry in the list. Okay. Yeah. How do I use prefabs? Can I define prefabs in like in RON format and then instantiate instances of them in my engine? Or not my engine, but in my game. The GLTF example and puffyscene.ron. Okay. Those seem like good resources to go to. I feel like item locations, of all things, they're going to be mostly the same. So it might make sense to do the whole prefab thing. It might not. If you think about it, a prefab is really just like it's kind of like a blueprint or like an OO class. It just kind of defines the things that you're going to be copying or creating instances of. It's kind of weird to think about it. But yeah, that really is just what a prefab is, isn't it? Examples. This is one of the important ones. puffy scene.ron. So it just does this is just a prefab loader. It doesn't actually like create the puffy fish, does it? Like Puffy doesn't have a location or anything, right? Prefab puffy scene. Oh no, I'm wrong. Puffy does seem to have well, has a translation, but okay, yeah, it definitely is defined here with everything. Alright, that's interesting. So it looks like this is roughly the kind of pattern I want to follow. Just define your stuff in these like prefab.ron files, and then play with it. Okay. I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. At least I have an idea of how it's supposed to work. Alright, so yeah, that gets loaded. That just uses the self.progress as usual. Here they use handle event, so that's kind of cool. An actual example of using a handle event. I can already tell that someone out there doesn't like this, and I can kind of agree with that. Someone's probably looking at this and going, why would you write your code like that? And then they're like, oh, you should use like an early return. And I'd look at their early return and go, you should rewrite that code. Probably not like this, but at least something a little bit nicer. Something cleaner than requiring the early return. I don't know. It's Rust. It's not like it doesn't have, well, I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say it's not like it doesn't have facilities for making it easier to avoid early returns, but actually I'm not sure. I mean, pattern matching already is one. But I don't know if there's any way to write that stuff actually like more cleanly. I have a feeling there is, but I can't think of it off the top of my head, so. Okay, looking at this, it actually doesn't seem all that bad. It seems relatively simple for the most part. I mean, yeah, we got this animation index stuff that we'll have to worry about soon enough. But for now, I think I should be able to just define... what was it? I should be able to just define entities in a .ron file, load them in right here, and then manipulate them on updates. Or in whatever system I decide to use. So, yeah, I feel like that's probably what I want to do. Oh, here they use the early returns. Busting out the return trans quit. So that's update. If you're doing it that way, how much of this is actually really using the ECS structure then? I don't feel like this is really using the ECS stuff all that much, but I could be wrong. Scene prefab data. Oh, it does get loaded from the prefab loader. Like otherwise, I don't know. Okay, here's a read storage, write storage. So that does use the ECS. Where's toggle or cycle animation even being used? That's the definition, and it's being used in handle event. Okay. Interesting. So it gets a read storage from somewhere. Oh, because we have access to the world, so you can literally, yeah, you can just get the write storage from the world. That makes sense. Huh. So they can just... Wait, can I see that again? Then you just pass world.read storage into toggle or cycle animation, and then just specify what kind of storage they want as one of the arguments, and it just produces it. That's news to me, because I didn't know you could do that. That's definitely very different from what I was expecting. Huh. Alright. I can get behind that. It does make sense. Yep, definitely makes sense. Okay. I definitely need to change, well, do I? I'm starting to think that I could rewrite some of my code now as a result of knowing that. Instead of passing the world around and fetching storages that way, I could just do what they're doing. Just pass the read storage and it'll just do its thing, right? Like, that makes it look so easy. Could you have multiple, like, mutable borrows, though? Would that work? I wonder. Presumably you would be able to do, like, you'd be able to have this happen multiple times. I mean, they do a write resource and they have a write storage. Those are different things. So I guess that is possible. That's kind of crazy. Here's a case where it'd be kind of nice if you could explicitly name the parameters that you're passing in. That'd definitely be useful there. I want to say Rust doesn't support named parameters, which is kind of a shame. Because this is definitely a really good use case for that. Was what if I wanted to get multiple write storages for different, you know, things here? I'd have to dig into here to figure out what is being passed through, right? Like I can't know from looking at this what this write storage is going to be used for. Like, oh, of course, if I want to look at the signature, yeah, I think it's better to come down here and look at the explicit signature, but just knowing the name, like if it wasn't controls, if it was something else, aside from controls that was also here, then it would definitely be a very different story. So, yeah, something that would be kind of nice, but probably isn't feasible to do. Or, well, I mean, I only say that because I don't know if they support it or not. For all I know, they do support it. I'm just being silly. I guess I could try it. So, I mean, where's a place where Oh, that's a constructor. That's different. The place where I pass in an argument to a function. I could test this. Actually, can I try running the game again? I want to be sure that I haven't missed anything right now. Oh, there we go. There's a place I need to change things. Self.seed. That's right. Alright, try again. I'm probably gonna need to use RNG, isn't it? I'm pretty sure I need RNG and standard RNG to do that. Wait, it's not that? Which one is... Oh, wait, no, I need seedable RNG. Wow, that's my bad. Try that. It's probably gonna complain still, because I'm passing in an array. And wait, is it not gonna ask me to oh wait, or is it just gonna automatically get a slice from that? Oh, okay. You know what? I think that's what it's doing. I'm giving it the array, except because I'm doing self.seed, I think it's gonna give it a immutable borrow. It's gonna immutably borrow the seed. I mean, it compiled, so I'm guessing that's what it did. And that does something, I don't know, it's kind of transparent, I can't tell. Oh dear. Oh. What did I do? It's like stuck now. Are you okay? You're not okay. Definitely not okay. Okie dokie. We'll just kill that. So entering the play state didn't really end well. Wonder why, though. How come I got, I guess, stuck? That's weird. Let's see if this works. I want to make sure that this is working properly before I move on to creating like prefabs and everything. Actually, are prefabs even appropriate here? Because each location is going to have a different item. Although I guess the base object could be the same, because all of them are going to be empty location, or not empty location. They're going to be locations that the player has not yet checked. So I'm going to have like a checked flag for each of them. We're going to have like a checked storage. Alright, click that. Okay, so it does the print line. That's really interesting, because it then gets completely stuck. Oh, wait, the reason why this doesn't do anything is because I don't have a handle event. Oh, yeah. Duh. It's not actually stuck. It's, I need to implement handle event and have it, you know, close the window when I click that button. Wait, in fact, where do I actually... Do I have anything that allows me to close the window and then have it kill the game? Is it actually getting stuck? It is getting stuck. Because that works, and I don't have that defined anywhere here, as far as I can tell. Oh, right, update. I need to do this update thing. Oh, that's right, I just remembered. That was a... Yeah, that was a thing. A thing, yes. No, like, you have to do this update here, otherwise it's not going to work. Because I created a this, so now it's going to want that. Okay, so This seems like I'm on the right track. I'm very excited to see this all in action once it's actually working. I know I'm leaving a lot of like loose ends behind right now. I will definitely try and keep track of those and clean them up. But for now, you know, maybe I should actually leave to-dos. I'm not the kind of person who really likes to-dos, because usually those never get cleaned up. But in the case of this project, considering I'm probably going to be going back, and I do touch this project, like, I try to touch it once a day, if I can, if I feel up to it. So it might actually not be such a bad thing to have to-dos in this project. It would certainly be more helpful for me than having nothing at all to track all the things I need to do. And it's tempting. It's very tempting. I'm still not 100% on board with that idea yet, but I'll think about it. Is that what I want? I do believe that's what I want. How was this working earlier? Oh wait, because this obviously is not working the way that I thought it would. Yeah, I can just do that. I don't need the super, super, super. I still don't like the super, super, super. It's kind of weird. I definitely need to use the better syntax, but... Is there a better syntax? I don't know. The better syntax that I've supposedly heard about. But I'm not entirely sure about. What are you talking about? Oh, because I underscored it because I don't need it, but now I do. Yeah, stuff like that is really nice. I like that. Because then I can catch it at compile time and know, like, hey, I didn't use that variable that I said I would. Alright, black state and close. There we go. That's pretty good. We've made a bit of headway into implementing the play state. So we've got a little bit of a foothold. Got a tiny bit of an idea of what I want to do with it. So next time, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and create the prefab for, or like define the prefab at least for the item locations. Probably one of the first things I'm going to do. I don't know if I want to have the entire game all in one game state like this, because I think I kind of want to have like screen transitions between rooms that the character can travel through. So maybe having everything be in this one like play state is not really ideal. But at the same time, I don't really know how else I'm going to do this. I mean, obviously I could switch to different states and implement them separately. That's an idea. I also think it might be overkill having a whole bunch of different states for like one per room. What I could just have is like an enum of all the different room states, and then you just like do pattern matching on that to execute certain things. You know what? Actually, I don't know if that's such a good idea. It might be okay. I'm a little bit skeptical about that right now, though. If I want to run the same systems across multiple rooms, then I guess that's okay. Anything different, obviously, I'd have to do an extra pattern match on the enum to figure out what like specialized code I need to run. So the more differences there are, the worse it becomes, basically. If every state plays out in roughly the same way, I can run the same systems over it, and maybe the only thing that's different is like the layout, then it's probably going to be okay to just ignore or just to use an enum. But if I'm planning on having there be I guess very different systems and stuff running per state. Yeah, I definitely should be careful about that. I don't really want it to scroll the way that A Link to the Past does. I think I'm going to have every room kind of be its own room. Like, there's no scrolling. The room doesn't scroll anywhere. It's just you enter from the right, or you leave a room at the right exit. You appear at the next room from the left exit. That kind of thing, and the camera doesn't ever like focus on your character. So I guess that's kind of a little bit like Binding of Isaac, or like the original Legend of Zelda. Sort of like that. I am thinking of doing it that way. That's not necessarily how it's going to be, but I'm definitely considering that. So either that, or I actually go down the A Link to the Past route and just have scrolling for certain screens. That is also very tempting. Because, yeah, like certain areas like Kakariko Village, it'll scroll with Link until he reaches the edge of town, and at which point, once he hits the border, it'll do the screen transition into a new room, I guess. Although in those cases, that's just like the rooms being a lot larger, I think. I think they all are the same size, roughly. Maybe that's not true either. Yeah, I could be wrong about that too. Yeah, never mind. I don't know enough about the game to really say like how the boundaries are divided up and everything. But yeah, this is I'm okay with the progress I made today. It wasn't like a lot, but it got me thinking. It got me thinking about how to proceed from here, and that's good. So yeah, the only other thing I can think about right now that might be an issue is how am I gonna like lay out the room in the like as like an entity. Like, is it just gonna be an entity with like a bunch of tiles, and each tile's an entity? Or you know that might make sense. I did do like a tile map demo. I remember I created like a tile map example, sort of. It's on my GitHub. I could do it that way, where the entire tile map is one big entity. But if we want to have like certain properties for certain tiles, it might make sense to just have a separate entity for each tile. And then, yeah, if the tile could have like certain properties, like has bush, or has enemy, or has enemy and bush. I don't know. that kind of makes sense. Well, yeah, that would make sense. And then everything else, all the other entities that move more freely don't have to be tied to any tile, right? I could certainly do it that way, I think. And that is kind of what I think I want to do. I guess aside from that, I'm gonna say it now. I will be bringing in tiled. I know that library, or at least like the Rust crate, is not really, I guess, all that clean of an implementation. It looks like it was just kind of thrown together, and I think they even said that they needed to spend some time to actually clean it up and make it better. But yeah, that project isn't like the most active thing in the world, but it's at least usable. Like, I definitely could use it to create a tile map for this game, or, well, multiple tile maps for this game. And it could just be that that's the editor of choice for Mini-rando. I don't know, because I don't particularly feel like creating my own like level editor, at least not for this project. So yeah, that might be the level editor, or at least a level editor of sorts for this project. I think certain parts of it are probably still going to be hard-coded in into the actual game itself, because I think you are somewhat limited in what kinds of like objects you can define in the actual like tile map editor. I mean, the tile map editor is mostly just there so you can get something that you can render, right? It's trying to they add features like objects where you can like set certain tiles to be considered walls, but of course they're not actually walls. They're just it just adds it to the is it XML? I think it is an XML file. It adds it to like the XML file, and it's your program's job, your game's job to interpret that object as a wall and properly handle collisions and stuff. So it really is just more like a marker to indicate that there's something special about certain tiles. Yeah. I don't know how much of that I'm going to play with, honestly. But, yeah, definitely looking forward to, well, getting to that point. But for now, I think this is where I'm gonna call it, and yeah, I will continue from here next time.